Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So I wanted to react to this video of this person receiving his passport back, and it has the gender marker male as opposed to female. Obviously this person appears to be distraught, and I think that's very sad. But I'm so glad that the federal government is not playing these games. Any federally issued identification must be 100% accurate. Everybody should be required to fill out the applications correctly and not lie on your application. And unfortunately, in some states, birth certificates can still have the incorrect sex marker on them. We are seeing examples of male athletes sneak their way into women's sports masquerading as girls, and they have all the documentation to say they are female. It's very disturbing. So let's take a look.
You guys, I just got my new passport, which you guys probably think I'm crying tears of happiness because my Uber driver stole my Prada bag with my passport in it a month ago and refused to give it back. I told Uber I was gonna hang myself, and all they did was send me the hotline. I finally got it after having to go through hell to find all my documents. And after all my psychiatrist appointments, my court documents, waiting years to have my gender changed. When I was working at McDonald's, dumb, shitty spray tan ass Trump just changed all the shit to make it so trans people, if they lose their ID or they have an ID that's expired, it comes back their original gender, even if they have their social, their birth certificate, everything changed.
Okay, first of all, I don't see any tears, but you know, this is where we're at now. It's very, very disturbing that simply acknowledging that you are either male or female can be so traumatic to an individual. Of course, this person is so traumatized, he decided to post a video about it and post it online. So the change in policy, you know, in the federal government, unfortunately, that doesn't mean that you're not going to get people with the wrong sex marker on their passport. Because, you know, once you get a passport, that's there for 10 years. And many of them are still going around with F on their passport when they are, in fact, male. But if they lose their passport and they have to apply for a new one, that's when this is happening, when they're finding out that the federal government's not playing around anymore. The federal government is not going to issue identification with lies on it. I mean, I've heard of X being on the passport before, but it got to the point where they were actually able to just have F on the passport without any indication that their gender had been changed. No indication whatsoever. And like he was saying, his birth certificate, driver's license, all says female. Thankfully, there's at least one government-issued ID that has to have the correct sex marker. And we have encouraged people, especially young people, to deny who they are. And that's really, really sad. And then we wonder why mental health is such a huge issue in this country. We wonder why there's so many people on medications. And then when it comes to so-called transitioning, young people on medications for that, on hormones that aren't even naturally occurring to their bodies. We don't even know the long-term effects of this. The long-term effects on the brain, on their perception, on their ability to stay in touch with reality. When if Rachel Dolezal was to come on the internet crying about her identification, saying that she is Caucasian, nobody would have sympathy for her. Quite the opposite. When race is actually more of a social construct than gender could ever be. Since we have people of mixed race heritage, who may think of themselves as a particular race. Since we have countries with people with all sorts of skin shades, olive-skinned, dark-skinned, very fair-skinned, it's easy to interpret someone's race differently. But yet we say that sex is changeable or gender is on a spectrum. That gender and sex are different things. You can change your gender. Now they're saying you can change your sex. I mean, that's what this marker on the passport is. It's a different sex marker. Given the impression that somebody is biologically one way when they are not. That's very, very dangerous. I would hate to be dating in this day and age. What a nightmare.
And now I look hot, but it's
I'm sorry, but you can tell from the photo. You could tell from the photo, I can.
as male. So not only am I an ugly crier, but I for sure can't go to Dubai where I'll get arrested.
Do you really want to go to Dubai? Okay.
It says male. Even with a $50,000 Gucci. And everything that I've got.
I'm sorry. What? Okay. Again, I mean, if that doesn't tell you that all of this is just cosmetic, I don't know what will. All of this is just cosmetic. And you really think cosmetic procedures is going to turn a man into a woman? We've really convinced people of that. Wow.
This world is making no progress.
You were robbed. You were robbed. All that money for these cosmetic procedures, for what? When you are who you are, you always will be male. And these doctors convince them that they can change their sex. I mean, come on.
And this is why trans people end their lives and get beaten up and get detained at the airport and they'll never feel good enough.
I'm relieved to see that the passports at least are reflecting people's true biological sex, reflecting their true gender, because deception is not on. And you're not going to get stopped at the airport. If you match your photo and everything, people, I've seen it all. We have men who present themselves as women. We know that's a thing. So I don't really see this person getting stopped at the airport. Apparently he's, claiming that he's not going to be able to travel to countries such as the Emirates or wherever. But tells me that you're definitely in the right country then, doesn't it? Because you're afforded all sorts of privileges here. We've had people lose their jobs and their livelihoods, the so-called misgendering. So if anything, these people are not persecuted just because their passport says that they are male. That doesn't make you a victim. It's a huge dose of reality, a much needed dose of reality. So let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Like, comment and subscribe. Take care of yourselves and God willing, I will see you in the next video.